everyone, we are Geeks Not Nerds. I'm Captain Logan.
And I'm Vince!
Vince!
Yes!
Today's question is an older question from a few weeks back from J.D. Bernal 82. And he asks, at what point should us comic book readers / movie critics understand and know the difference between fiction and reality? Getting angry about fictional characters' actions and their lives as if they were based on true events. He wrote that on one of my Captain Crypto Freaks, Metamorphosis, from 3 or 4 weeks back now. And he seems to think that sometimes we overanalyze things. He left another comment before that that says, "You guys overanalyze everything." He says, "I love Superman, but gosh, it's just science fiction, entertainment. Can we not just enjoy it for what it is?" And since he asked it as in the form of a question, I thought we would respond to it, Vince. So let's do it. It's fair. It's a criticism of us. So let's answer it, shall we? What do you think, Vince?
Well, I think that something I kind of like to address first is that I think this culture has a sort of underestimation of science fiction itself. So
and I would agree with that.
And I'm not going to extend that to fantasy, because I think that's largely science fiction. I mean, if you have aliens or space, or if you have superpowers or something, there's automatically a stigma attached to it, and it cannot be art. It's purely escapist, and we need to think of it in that way. But
right, you're immediately overthinking it if you're thinking about it at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, is that it seems to be. I mean, I've been delving into some science fiction in recent years, and recent months specifically. But
and good on you.
And my ultimate assessment here is that science fiction, a lot of the time, has something that are trying to say about humanity or the state of man or the state of society, something that has a deeper meaning and can be considered art. So, in that way, I got to disagree with Mr. J.D. Bernal here, because 82, I think it was. But whatever his number is. Anyway, I got to disagree, because I think that, you can have escapist things. But then again, you can have things that are deeper thinking, and in ways we need to be able. We need both, I think. And I know I'm kind of talking over you here, but I think we need our escapist fiction, but we can have good escapist fiction.
I think you can do both simultaneously. I mean, I think you can be escapist and talk about something. Mm-hmm. I think that's actually really cool when it works. You can kind of have your cake and eat it too on it. Because I think that when something is escapist and it also manages to have some kind of social commentary, or to just talk about people, and especially includes characters who act like real human beings. Where you buy what they do, you buy their motivations, you buy their decision making process, and you like them as people. I think that when you manage to do all that, it actually is more fun and makes a message less preachy.
Right.
And if you can actually manage that, so if something. I don't know, if the only things that I'm supposed to take serious are things that are really heavy and are going, this is important, then that's unfortunate. Like if that's supposed to be a rule, that's a bad rule.
Yeah.
In my mind. So I don't know.
Yeah, I find it problematic. I find it. Here, let's address another portion of that question. Passion about this. Why should we be passionate about things and want them to be good, and talk about the deeper meanings, and then talk about the deeper construction of the plot?
And passion's the right word, because what he says is that we get angry about what fictional characters are doing. You know what I mean? That we're like, like the kind of folks that get so engrossed in fiction that they treat it like it's real, and they yell at the characters on the screen. That kind of thing.
I was just listening to a Shadow radio show where the actors were talking about people that would send mail into them, like there are officials from other countries that actually thought the Shadow was a real character, and Lamont Cranston was a guy who could cloud men's minds. So they were sending in mail saying, he could be spying for our country. How dare you keep him for yourselves?
That's hilarious.
And so...
And it makes sense, because you're talking about a time when there wasn't a lot of, fiction outside of just, books and print things. And so that's why you had the famous War of the Worlds fiasco.
Yeah, which, by the by, the guy who played the announcer on War of the Worlds also played the Shadow. So
yeah, right.
And I'm not talking about Orson Welles.
Right.
I think it's Frank Reddick, but I forget.
I don't remember either. Yeah. But anyway.
Anywho, the passion. I think there is a good reason to have passion for a for any sort of entertainment, whether it be escapist or not.
And it's not necessarily a break with reality, right?
Yeah, I'll say this, and maybe this is even crossing the line, but I've been angry at a company for doing something that I think is do not cross this line.
This is my side of the living room, and that is your side of the living room. And must you drink straight out of the milk carton? It's disgusting.
They don't sell it in cartons anymore, but yes, they do. But anyway, I've been angry at a company for doing something silly, but I've never actually been angry at a character. Like, I could sit there and a character could do something that I don't like, and then I go, why are we watching this character? Because, one, he's unsympathetic, and two, is he learning anything that makes him more sympathetic to me? I mean, there are things that can make me dislike a character, but I'm never going to get angry at a character. I will say that I can get angry at a company for doing something stupid.
I'll get angry at writing.
Yeah.
You know? And I think that, Vince and I, as we always like to call ourselves students of pop culture and also as writers, we take the art seriously. It's art, and art is meant to be taken seriously, especially by the people who do it. And so I think that it's absolutely appropriate to point out and to even sometimes be passionately irritated when, especially very popular things that people are buying into aren't working correctly narratively. You know what I mean? Because it's not just... And he left this comment on a Smallville thing, so let me address Smallville for just a moment. When Clark Kent does stupid stuff, that irritates me because it's a popular show and people buy into it. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? This is a character, and we talked about this when we talked about Teen Angst, right? This is a character that people look up to and respect, and when he's not proactive, when he's whiny. Those sorts of things. It bugs me. It makes me irritated. Because I think Clark Kent in Smallville is real. Heavens no! I can't suspend my disbelief enough to think that. No. It's because I want to like this show. It gets enough things right that I want to like it. You know what I mean? And more importantly, when it's the bar. Because it's very popular. It made 10 seasons, and when that ends up being some people's bar for television, and it's messing up so much stuff narratively, that's a problem.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because we're really muddling the art form when we do that. And
that's
really just kind of distilling it.
People when they lower their expectations, they lower their standard. So say. Now Smallville's the standard. Well, I'm going to expect less out of the next Batman show that comes out, so therefore they're not going to give you as much. So if you expect less out of people, they give you less. And
that's a great point, Vince.
You can't you can't have a manager that says, all I really do is expect you to move that box over there, and they'll be like, well, tomorrow why should I do anything more than move that box over there?
Yeah.
You guys should pay me for what I'm doing, and that's what I'm paid to do, is move that box to that corner. Yeah, but could you stock the shelves and stuff? No, you told me to do this. So, we're going to make Smallville every time. Why? Because that's what you told us to do.
That's a great analogy, Vince. I mean, I've always thought that that part of living, a major part of living, is trying to is trying to better yourself. Is trying to become a better person. And I think it should be the same with our art, right? I mean, mm-hmm. I think that movies and books and et cetera, especially things that go on for a long amount of time, should be constantly striving to be better than they are.
There's a comedian named Louis C.K., and one of the things he said about his stand-up routine and how he got good, I think he put it that way actually, and how he continually improves. He will make his last joke from his most recent, he'll have a bit, and that last joke will be his opening joke.
That's cool.
For his next one. So he just has to keep bettering himself.
Mm-hmm. He's constantly challenging himself.
Yeah. He can't get stagnant because he's making himself improve.
How do you, Vince, answer the comment, we should enjoy something just for what it is?
I think that, I will say that you can enjoy something for what it is, but I do think that there should be some way of grading something's talent, I suppose, the talent that goes into it, or the work that goes into it, because certainly we should enjoy Dark Knight more than Superman Returns.
Well, I would say so too. I mean, that might step on some people's toes, but
well, I mean, you can say that there are things that are better written than other things, and if that's something that you're passionate about, why not be passionate about it? But you can enjoy something that's not good, and we've also had a discussion about that.
Well, yeah. I mean, if I didn't enjoy Smallville to some degree, I wouldn't be reviewing it.
Yeah.
But I think there's a difference between enjoying something and looking at it critically, right? I mean, like, and also, I'm going to say that I don't think every single person needs to be ultra critical. I think some of us are, and some of us like to do this, and it's what we do. I don't think every single person needs to be doing this. In fact, I think it's probably for the best that not every single person does do this. But on the other hand, I do challenge people to think. I mean, I challenge everyone, no matter who you are, to think about what it is that you're watching. Again, you don't have to write about it. You don't have to make videos about it. You don't have to even talk about it. But think. You know what I mean? I challenge people not to accept everything they see at face value, because I think that's dangerous. I think once you start accepting everything you see at face value, it's pretty easy to get brainwashed. And I mean, not to get crazy or anything, but I mean, our popular culture has a tendency to try to brainwash us sometimes, right? I mean, this happens. This happens, and so you need to think about what it is that you're watching.
No, and our popular culture does, like literally tries to, do that
to
World War II.
And you can do this without being uptight about it.
Yeah.
You don't have to be uptight, but I'm just saying that, I get passionate about it. That's what I do. But that doesn't mean that I've like lost touch with reality or anything like that.
I think that analyzing a movie is not saying that, or analyzing something that's even what we're considering here to be bad, i.e. Smallville. The act of analysis is not saying that it needs to be heavy-handed to be good. It's not saying that it needs to be super smart to be good. It's saying
that everything has to be the same.
We're saying that by analysis, what we're trying to do is promote understanding of something, and to fully appreciate something for what it is, you have to understand what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, because if what you're doing is sitting down and enjoying something like Smallville for the pretty colors on screen, you're just enjoying it for the spectacle. And if you're telling us that all it is spectacle, then at that point, why not just watch explosions?
Yeah.
So.
And I also think it's just, you're absolutely right, and I think it's just important that people don't just look at something and say, oh, just like that for what it is, especially when it's obviously trying to do more than that. Mm-hmm. So then I feel like it's important for someone to look at it and say, is it succeeding at that? You know what I mean? You can't watch a show like, I know we keep talking about Smallville, but I mean, you can't watch a show like Smallville and say that it's just trying to be escapist fiction. It's trying to do things. It doesn't always succeed. It very often fails. But I mean, it wants to be taken seriously. So we need to, when things ask to be taken seriously, we need to see if they're actually good enough to be taken seriously. I don't know. It's an exercise. Analysis is simply an exercise in thinking. Mm-hmm. And part of the reason that I do this, and I think part of the reason that you do this too, is to encourage people to think. Not necessarily to encourage people to do what we do, but just to think.
Yeah. We're not saying that you need to hate Smallville. We're saying if you're going to enjoy Smallville,
no, and I always encourage people to disagree with me. It's about discussion. Yeah. I mean, when we do reviews or analysis, we're inviting discussion. It's the beginning of a talk. I mean, I'm reviewing, on Rewind, sorry, on Superhero Rewind, I'm reviewing every superhero movie ever made, but that's not me saying that my answer to a movie is the be-all, end-all. I want what I do to be the beginning of a discussion.
There was a guy I was in a playwriting class with, not this guy, even though he was in one of my playwriting classes, but I was talking to this guy, and he had just seen Watchmen. He's like, oh, it was so awesome, and this thing happened, it was really cool, and he's like, what do you think, Vince? And
no, that was me.
No, but so this guy said, well, what do you think, Vince? And I gave him my opinion, and then by the end of it, he said, stop making me hate that movie. And I went, no, I'm not trying to tell you to hate that movie. I mean, I have reasons for disliking it.
And why are you so easily persuaded?
The thing is,
have your own opinion and let's argue. Arguing is fun. Or at least arguing can be fun.
He's a pretty bright guy. He wrote some good plays, so I thought it was strange that he just automatically took my logic as what it was. And,
yeah.
And I thought, think about it. If you think that your position is right, why is that?
Right.
So
yeah, you should always be able to back that up.
Yeah, I mean, you should always be willing to change. You should always be willing to accept new ideas.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it should be a give and take. It shouldn't be, please impress upon me the ideas that you have.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you should always be willing to reevaluate your convictions when it's warranted.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you need to be able to do both. I mean, that's the entire point of thinking, is that you give and take. You know things that are fact, and you know things that are opinion. And what you're really trying to change here is the opinion of yourself or the other person. I think when you go into a review or into a movie or into whatever, and you're trying to ultimately come down on it in some way, you should approach it with a fluid concept of whether or not you're going to like it. So, what am I really trying to say here? I'm saying we all need to hold hands and have world peace.
Oh, man.
And hopefully I can win the Miss America contest next year.
Yeah, well, adding on to that, diversity.
Yeah.
We're all different. We're all different people. We all have different opinions, but I don't think that it's and I mean, not to call this guy out or anything.
Yeah.
I think that this is this was worth exploring, and that's why we're
talking
talking about it. No, absolutely. And I'm appreciating the fact that somebody, felt like criticizing us a little bit, and let's talk about it. But I do think that it's a little bit unfair. It's not really I don't think it's really right to say, hey, you guys overanalyze everything. You know what I mean? Like I don't think it's I don't think he's right. You know what I mean? Because I think that we just have opinions, and I think that people should be able to express them. So I guess what I'm saying is it's not really fair to say, well, how dare you guys have opinions on something that nobody should have an opinion on. And I'm like, really? I don't know. I'm like, Smallville asked me to take it seriously, so I gave it a shot. You know what I mean? That's my thing. So
I just had a thought, and maybe I shouldn't say this, but of the review shows that you do,
yeah,
you have your analysis, which is, what do you call that? Superhero Rewind. Mm-hmm. But Counting Crypto Freaks definitely has a comedic bent.
There's that. I mean, I'm a little sarcastic.
So maybe what he's sort of picking up on is
oh, that's a good call.
Is you have this thesis paper that you release every other whatever day it is, Saturday, I think.
Friday
now. So you release it every other week now, and then you have Counting Crypto Freaks, which is comedic. So it seems to be that super serious versus sarcastic. So therefore, maybe he's just thinking you're being serious when you're being sarcastic.
Yeah, that's a good... And honestly, I can't always tell when I'm being sarcastic, so... there you go. Well, hey, what do you think? What do you think about analysis, over-analysis, et cetera, et cetera? Leave us a comment. Tell us what you think. And if you have an idea for something we might want to talk about in a future video, leave that in the comments as well. And if you're ever in the Kansas City area, be sure to check out Pop Culture Comics. That's our official sponsor and my favorite place to get comic books. And thanks again for watching. I'm Captain Logan.
And I'm Vince, reminding you to support your local comic book store.
We'll see you later.